Hello everyone and welcome to the Tigerpaw Software Business Building Webinar Series. This is a live webinar series that focuses on sharing industry best practices, helpful business tips, and valuable partner training for VARs, MSPs, and technology service providers. My name is James Kernan. I'll be your host for today's call. Our presenters today will be Dan Goldstein and Randy Gould of GMS Live Expert. Today's strategic session is called Support as Many New Clients as You Can Land without hiring a new support staff. Today, they will show you on how leveraging strategic outsourced partnerships can help you win more monthly recurring revenue in 2016. This webinar is designed for technology solution providers who are interested in offering Tier 1 help desk services but don't have the staff or back-end systems to support the service. We've all been asked by prospects in the past that awkward question, do you offer 24/7 support? Most can't afford to run a full shift 24/7, and many maybe don't know how to set it up. Well, today we're going to explain your answer. We anticipate this session to last for about 30 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end, so please stay tuned till the end of the presentation. As a reminder, all sessions will be recorded, and those of you who registered will get a follow-up email with the recording link. Now let's get started with today's session. Let me hand the floor over to Dan and Randy.
Thank you very much, James. Much appreciated. And everybody, thank you so very much today for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with Tigerpaw. And as James mentioned, we're going to do our absolute best to get through this in about 30 minutes. To remind you, that we're more than happy to take questions at the end of our presentation. I always say any question that you don't, there's no stupid question really. The only stupid question is when you don't ask. So please feel free. We're here to answer those for you.
Right.
So once again, my name is Randy Gould. I'm along with Dan Goldstein. He's our Director of Channel Strategy. I'm the Director of Business Development. Dan, welcome and thank you for being here as well.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to share our offering with you.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get right into it, everybody. Let's talk about outsourcing and the state of the industry. 36% of companies outsource. Another 42% forecast their outsource spending to increase in the next year, and that's terrific. There's obviously a need in the marketplace to be able to outsource. And that's not necessarily just a help desk scenario. That could be accounting. It can be any factors, a level 3 support. It doesn't really matter what it is, but people see and companies see the value in outsourcing some form of their business. As a matter of fact, currently 1 out of every 3 companies use an outsourced help desk at this point. Some of the major things that we see in our industry is difficulties in hiring and retaining staff. The average tenure in of help desk in our industry is actually 18 months from initiation of bringing that new employee on to the time that they've moved on to something else. And really in between that time frame is really where's the productivity. You have to train them, get them up to speed. That could be sometimes 3 to 6 weeks. And then once they are finally up to speed, and again, this isn't the help desk side, they look at, well, maybe this isn't the opportunity that I thought I want to grow. So that's one of the things that we see. And sometimes just having the right staff, the skill sets to be able to match what they're looking for. So that's one of the big factors. Another factor is 31% of companies want to free up internal resources, actually make them accountable for something other than, in this state of the market, and help desk from that standpoint. And about 22% of companies want to accelerate their growth. They see that if I don't have burden costs per employee, I can actually free up my internal resources. I can accelerate myself. I can go out to that market space and grow. So it's an excellent opportunity, and we see this increasing really on a month-by-month basis. And I have to tell you, 2015 for GMS was a wonderful year. We saw tremendous growth in the industry. So the message is being received loud and clear. And with our relationship with Tigerpaw, we see that increasing as well, and we're very, very excited to be part of that. So thank you. When we talk about respecting your time, you have to know your immediate needs. If you're coming into this, is this something I want to do? Should I do it? Should you offer help desk and knock services? What are the benefits? Are there going to be specific levels of service that you're going to require? Is it going to be only level 1? Do you want level 2 support? Do you want both? Do you want a knock service that's going to be proactive? Because when you think about knock and help desk is purely a reactive solution. It's take that call, escalate the issue if need be, but from the GMS standpoint, and I'll explain that in a little bit, our escalations are so minimal that it's in the industry, nobody comes close to what our escalations are, so they're very low. But you have to obviously understand what type of service levels you require. Now, here's some of the tough questions that we face on a daily basis. And I'm not going to read every one of these questions, but they do make a lot of sense. Questions are, am I going to lose control of my customers? How are you possibly going to be able to treat my customers as well as I do? And that's a big one. That is a really big one because, you know, you spend a lot of time acquiring, maintaining relationships. The worst thing that can happen from our standpoint as the help desk is we and I say this respectfully, we ruin that relationship. And our point is we are not just a bolt-on service, but we're actually wearing your uniform. We actually act as your third level of support. So, you know, and we do need to make sure that we're acting under that pretense. And one of the other questions that we have here is, will my small business be lost behind your other large clients? So let me kind of address some of those major questions. Number one, will I lose control of my customers? And James, I'm not sure if you've experienced this, but I think that we actually gain more control of our customers with our solution, because I find that when you're having an intelligent conversation where you're not always backtracking, that's when you put a fence around your customer's business. So let me give you an example of something like that. You're working really hard, and unfortunately, if you don't have, let's say in the scenario where you don't have help desk, you're doing questions on level 1, level 2, you're trying to work on issues within the customer's network, replacing the equipment, all of the things that you do on a daily basis. But if you have a back end that's able to handle all those support phone calls, that frees you up to actually look at revenue generating opportunities, you know, equipment refreshes, all kinds of different work that you're going to do in that customer's network. So now you sit in front of the customer and you have an intelligent conversation and you say, here's all the tickets we opened this month. Here's the top escalations that we found. Here's some of the major contributing factors to why the calls are coming in. And now you can relate that back to equipment or whatever the case might be, but that gives you the intelligent conversation, not the, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get to what we were promised we were going to do this month because we've been so backlogged with telephone calls. So I truly believe, right? I truly believe you actually gain more control of your customer. You know, again, you know, bullet point here, how can you possibly treat my customers as well as I do? Well, GMS has been in business for 15 plus years. We wouldn't be here if we didn't, you know, treat your customers as well as you do. I even say we have to be even that much better because you've got the relationship. I have to prove myself. And that's something that GMS is very good at doing. We are very good at working with the end user. We're very laser focused on that support business, being able to make sure that I am a white labeled North American 24-hour-a-day solution for you. So when that customer phones in, we become an extension of your business. Very, very detailed. The other bullet point I want to talk about, will my small business be lost behind your other large clients? GMS is a very boutique style company, and we treat all of our customers, our clients, our partners, however you want to phrase it, with, you know, ultimate respect. Because you're bringing me, you know, 50 end users or you're bringing me 500 end users, it doesn't matter, because those end users are all very important to us. And when you think about it, an issue that is, you know, hampering somebody in a 50-user environment could be the same issue hampering somebody in a 300 or 400-user environment. So you don't get lost behind it. You are actually on the same level playing field as all of our partners. So, you know, that's something else that we can demystify. So those are some of the tough questions we face on a daily basis. You know, some of the things that we do, of course, being 100% white labeled, we give you 24-hour-a-day help desk. That's 100% North American based. We do not outsource to any other countries. Everything stays in North America with live phone, chat, and ticket-based support through Tigerpaw. We are transparent with our integration. We have a wonderful piece of integration that allows native ticket information to flow back and forth between our ticketing systems. And our service delivery quality assurance management team is an asset to you because we are always looking at the flow of tickets on an hourly basis to make sure all of our tickets are aligning properly. If there's any issues or any escalations that happen, they always happen prior to it being received to our customer. So we have an internal process that we look at that will manage the escalations prior So very, very tight internally on our management side. From our 24/7 Network Operations Center, NOC for short, we do server and PC network and mobile management, sub 15-minute average handle response times, flexible ticketing, syncs, flexible vendor management processes, total ownership of ticket and accountability. And I think that's probably one of the most important factors. It's the ownership of the ticket, right? Like,
yep.
As a company, and James, you see that, as a company, you have to own it. You have to own that. So, and one thing that GMS is very good at is we don't point fingers, right? We are, if there's an issue, and listen, we can do 100 calls, and the 101st call, something just doesn't go the way it should. Is it end user based? Is it ours? Is it something that we had done? Well, we're very accountable to that, and we have all our support metrics, our the way we capture the calls, the way we record everything in and out of the building. So there's always fail-safes, and we'll always make sure that we are accountable for every situation. We own it. You're our customer, and we have to make sure that you have full understanding of how we're working the situation. So very, very defined processes. And personal account management is a very big factor too. With my role as a business or the director of business development, I actually get to work with you end-to-end on our partnerships, but I hand you off, and kind of as I say, I always move over to the passenger seat when you deal with our account management team, which allows you to go through your onboarding, the Tigerpaw integration pieces, putting together the network information that we need to work with your customers. So there's a lot that goes into that, and monthly reporting. And our pricing models are very flexible too. We're very different in the industry, and I can always speak to that as well. It's not just one set price and here's how it works. There's lots of flexibility in the pricing. Mm-hmm. Here's something that I'm very proud of. This is amazing to me. We actually, and I apologize, there's a bit of a typo for the inbound calls. This is actually 171,933 calls were handled in 2015. Of those 171,000, we had a live answer rate of 85.71 sub 60 seconds. That means 86% of all of our calls were answered under 60 seconds. Of the 171,000 tickets we touched, we resolved 93% of those tickets for a total of 160,757 tickets resolved in 2015. Staggering numbers, actually.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's excellent.
And you know something, James, we're so proud of it. And what's interesting about these support metrics is, again, we have actually dedicated quality assurance officers dedicated to our teams, and we actually put your customers in teams of between 7 and 10 people, depending on the volume. So it's actually a defined group of frontline help desk agents, which we call mentors. So each team has a dedicated shift lead and quality control officer. So we understand if there happens to be something going on and that call is taking a little bit longer to fix, assuming the time per each call is about 20 minutes. Let's say we're about 10, 12 minutes into the call. If we have an issue, we'll actually escalate it for a fresh set of eyes. So, that's why these numbers are where they are. It's because we have fail-safes and contingencies built into our partnerships. Very, very important when you're dealing with, and as you know, and your audience, when you deal with end-user support, every issue is immediate. Every issue needs attention, and you have to have that specialized attention, and we're there to do that and provide that with you. As mentioned, our mentors are very, very highly trained. And I actually want to, and it's not in our presentation here, but I actually want to tell you something. A couple slides back, we talked about the average, trying to maintain and keep staff, with the average tenure being about 18 months in the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, and James, I don't know if you are aware of this, the average tenure of a help desk mentor with GMS is 7.5 years on average. So, wow. So in comparison to the 18 months. So our mentors stay with us. And that's an important factor, because when we give you a dedicated team of people, as you can see, they're not going to be gone in 3 months from now. You're going to have that same group, along the way. And again, on average of 7.5 years. Now, Our most senior mentor tech holds 80 certifications, and he could be dedicated to your team. And I say he's an absolute sponge. He's just amazing. But the average mentor holds about 13 certifications, from Cisco CCNA to Microsoft Desktop Technician, Office 365. So we're very, very good at what we do. Again, with the primary laser focus solely on the end user experience. How did that end user feel when they picked up the phone? Did they get the service levels they were looking for? Did they get off the phone and feel very good about the experience? And I'll be honest with you, we probably see a good 15 to 20 emails a week from our partners telling us how happy they have been with our service. So, you know, it's really wonderful to work in an organization that you get instant feedback and feedback that is as positive as it is, and it's exciting because we really, you know, have a beautiful service out there, allowing our partners to, you know, focus on their core. When you look at building versus buying it, can you build a help desk internally? Absolutely you can, but it's expensive. It's very expensive. It can be upwards between $300,000 to $400,000 burden cost per employee of, let's say, $60,000, and you've got a minimum of 5 to 6 employees on a 24/7 rotation. So sure, you have to, you know, work all the HR issues. Sometimes is your capacity over or under? Do you need to hire more? Do you have to train them? Or when you buy it, the GMS model, everything is encompassed at the end of the month. You pay the bill. We've got, you know, all the HR issues are handled by us. We don't get sick. We don't take vacations. Our skill sets are always advancing because our mentors take 2 courses per year to upgrade their skills. By doing that, what we've done is we compensate them for every course that they take, and they get bonus and they get raises in their salary because now they're worth more to us. Hence why we keep them as long as we do. So there's an investment of time and effort. So as a partner of GMS, what do you benefit? You benefit from a greater skill set. And we position you for growth because now you don't have to worry about tying up capital funds to be able to bring on that staff and maintain them. It's all encompassed in the GMS solution at a fraction of the cost. When I say, and we're just on averages, everybody, when you look at a burden cost of $350 for a help desk, I can come in at probably, you know, and again, these are raw numbers, but between $25,000 and $30,000 in comparison to a, you know, $350,000 bill. Again, everything is open to interpretation, but just understand that that burden cost is gone when it comes to GMS. Now, the big question that we ask, are you making a profit? Because help desk should not be revenue negative. It should be revenue positive. And I always talk to my partners and prospective partners and say, listen, you should really be looking at putting a profit of about 20% per head onto your margins. So, you know, have it be a profit center for you. Have your help desk actually make you money. And of course, we can show you how that works and how we can do that for you. But it's a very excellent proposition when you walk in the door and say, okay, I know I'm going to charge this guy, it's going to cost me $20 a head, and I'm going to charge him for, you know, 10 heads, $200. I know I can add profit on that, and away you go. So, you know, grow that part of your business. Don't make that be revenue negative to you. So what are our customers saying about us? Well, this is a long, wordy slide. I don't want to get into all the wording of it, but I'll leave it up on the screen for a few moments. As mentioned, we see constantly how we get, and I say this kudos because it's so nice to see. As a matter of fact, yesterday we got 6 emails yesterday during the day about experiences and how people had a wonderful throughput and issues that they were struggling with. We had it fixed in 10 minutes, and could our mentors come work for them? It's just wonderful things. The one thing is, you know, Zeta Sky, they are a partner I brought on just over a year ago, and they absolutely love what we do and how we work with their team. And they actually named Jordan, Matt, and Anthony for their outstanding technical support. So again, everybody, it's a nice complement to your business. It's a bolt-on. We become that integral part of what you do. And that's why I say we wear your uniform. We fit within your internal business processes. I'm going to help you improve your internal support processes as well. You know, end-to-end resolution of issues, reactive, plus the proactive side with our knock and monitoring. So again, I talked a little bit before about being transparent and accountable, and that's what we are. We're transparent and we're accountable to you, and I want to drive home that we own the problem, and we will do our best to resolution each and every time out. And listen, if it happens to be something that GMS was an error, we use that as a training exercise to our mentor team, show them how they could have changed and maybe reacted differently, because to err is human. To say that you're not is false. We are human beings. but we understand where those pitfalls are, and we do our best to address them either prior to the situation and or immediately after. Now, with GMS as your partner, we will be relieving drain on limited capital budgets and cash flow. We'll allow your management to refocus on new business and customer relationships. Big point, customer relationships. That's huge. Because listen, you might not have the best service or best product, but you've got that relationship, and your service levels to that customer are outstanding. And so people appreciate that. It's customer service sometimes being a lost art. So we'll allow you to focus your technical resources on revenue-generating customer projects and installations without interruptions. Eliminate stress related to delivering day-to-day solutions. Take that away from you, and gain the confidence needed to tackle larger opportunities. Being able to say, here's an opportunity I didn't think I'd be able to take on because I didn't have the back-end support. Well, now you do. Now you have that option because you know we'll be able to handle that. And that's on a 24/7 basis as well. So if the call comes in at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it doesn't matter. You never have to worry about turning business away. And you can go in with complete confidence and say, yes, I have a 10-person help desk, and here are my hours of operation, and here's what we do, and here's how we'll handle the situation for you. So again, a very, very confident discussion you can have with prospective partners that you might have backed away from because you didn't think you could be able to take that business. So why use GMS? Well, we've been in business for 15 years, partnering successfully with ISPs, VARs, and OEMs. Look at the list of people that I have. I've got Intel, Cisco, Dell. In Canada, I've got Bell Canada, Bell Alliance, MTS. We've been around a long time from our corporate structure. So we've been pretty good at doing this for a long time. You know, reactive and proactive support, you know, end-to-end resolutions. We are transparent and accountable. We've got French-speaking people on our phones as well. And I think the last bullet point down at the bottom, seasoned leadership and staff, that's something that we talked about a few minutes ago, not just the average tenure of our help desk agents being at 7.5 years, but our staff, our internal staff, our segment manager has been with us over 10 years, our VP of Support Services over 12 years, our COO 15 years. People that work at GMS stay with us because it's a wonderful culture, and it's a nice boutique-style organization that gets it. I think that's an important factor. We get it. So I hope that this is making some sense to you all. And again, remember, there's questions at the end that we'd love to answer. James will help field those as well. I want to talk about our seamless integration because we have a help desk connector that we've built with Tigerpaw, which allows, and we call it the HDC. Basically what it does is it grabs the ticket information from our system, moves it over through the connector onto your Tigerpaw system, so all the ticket information, time entries are captured, and then it's put into your system. So when I'm actually working a ticket, it looks like I'm working in your Tigerpaw. So native bidirectional integration that allows us to have that seamless point of contact, making it a smooth transition so you're not logging into separate systems, ticket numbers aren't flowing over back and forth, and all the time is captured. It's a wonderful piece of middleware that we've built out with Tigerpaw, and we're very excited about it, and that's just to help you in the marketplace. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to James to talk about some of the Tigerpaw software.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so one of the key things that Tigerpaw offers that makes us unique is just a strong integration and partner community. You know, our whole objective here at Tigerpaw is not just to be a ticketing system, but really for you to use the software to take your business up to the next level. It's all about making more money or saving more money. And talking about automated workflows and central billing, you know, the workflows, Randy briefly touched on it right there about the workflows being automated of tickets coming into GMS and then it automatically going into Tigerpaw. And then what's cool about that is it can actually go all the way through the rest of the workflow through different departments and into central billing and automate your billing. So if you want to get more efficiencies and give back, like Randy talked about earlier, of giving back responsibilities to your team, when you automate things, you're going to give them back more man hours to get other things done. So that's what it's all about. So leverage your tools to do that. Another key point I wanted to make that makes Tigerpaw special is the sales and marketing capabilities. You know, most of you have multiple tools that you use for your different departments. There's lots of good PSA tools or ticketing tools to run your service desk and ticketing system, but something I think that makes Tigerpaw unique is it's the best sales and marketing PSA in the marketplace today. period. We grew up, we've been in business over 30 years, have 40,000 users in 29 countries, had record growth year after year the last couple of years in a row. And it's because people are leveraging the full power of Tigerpaw in all the departments, and they're growing their business. And the sales and marketing piece is critical to that. And the last thing I wanted to comment on is the reporting and dashboards. So we all need to figure out a way to leverage and pull that data out of our systems so we can make better business decisions, right? Well, the beauty of Tigerpaw is it's so easy. It's not an additional charge that our competitors charge, and it's not a custom report that some programmer, figuring out a Mensa puzzle. I just want a simple report. I want to pull the data out so I can make decisions. And again, not just for you, the CEO, but your department heads and even the individual technicians and salespeople. Everybody in your company is pulling the same data out of the same database. It's very, very powerful, and it's not custom. There's over 600 canned reports that comes right out of Tigerpaw. There's live real-time dashboards, and then the matrix views that gives you basically info on every different department that you want. Okay, so on the next slide here, I just wanted to show you. So why Tigerpaw Software? So we give you options of how you can work with us. We don't dictate one way, we give you multiple ways. So if you want to subscribe into a monthly SaaS subscription, you can do that. You can purchase the software, which has a very low total cost of ownership, or you could lease it. If you want to purchase it and have a dollar buyout at the end and own it, we still offer that option as well. That's a lease option. And then the Tigerpaw Cloud is coming out as well at the end of Q1 here. And then just to recap, if any of this is interesting to you, if you're struggling with your PSA software or ticketing system, or you have a hodgepodge of different tools running your business and you want to stabilize on one platform with awesome integrations and partner with companies like GMS into our big partner community, we've got some special promotions, and here's what I have for you today. So the first 10 people that email me today at sales@tigerpaw.com, we're going to offer you 20% off any of the product, so any of those 3 options that are available to you. So we'll offer our goods and services at a 20% off until January 29th. And on top of that, we're also going to throw in a free aided implementation. So it's something else unique that Tigerpaw can offer. We don't want to just sell you software and then move on. What's really important to us is we want to make sure you know how to use it, your team knows how to use it, everybody's certified and up and going from every department, soup to nuts. So we're going to throw in a free implementation as well to help you and your team get up and going and making money using Tigerpaw software. Okay? That's all I had really on the Tigerpaw side. I'm going to hand things back off to you folks.
Thanks very much, James. All right, so with GMS, it's our thorough processes and our quality. That's it's probably our biggest factor, it's just the quality. So our sole mission is to monitor and protect GMS and our customer standards and reputations, because that's what we're about. I want to make sure that you maintain your status in the marketplace, and no matter what that is, we will at all costs ensure that we do that. We perform daily proactive ticket handling and issues and reviews for best practices and compliance, making sure that we're doing everything right. Make sure that all of those tickets are being filled out properly. If we're missing any information or we need documentation from you, we do that as well. Customer satisfactions, our surveys are a real good measure of retention. We found that, when our partners go out there to the marketplace and they do customer satisfaction surveys, the number one thing that comes back is how good their help desk support is, and that's a huge factor, and it makes us smile because we know we're doing a good job. And reality is, I don't want to keep you locked into a contract if we're not doing what we're saying we're supposed to do. In our contracts, we actually stipulate if we breach it and you give us 30 days notice, we'll let you out free and clear. If we don't fix it, generally 9.5 out of 10 times that's not an issue. We're on that in sub 24 hours. But again, if this doesn't work for you, we don't want to keep you locked into a partnership. I'm very proud to say that our churn rate is sub 1%. People join GMS, they stay with us. As a matter of fact, 45% of our initial, when we first started our division of this company, 45% of our partners are still with us today, so it's beautiful. Just to wrap up our presentation, my name again is Randy Gould. I'm the Director of Business Development here at GMS Live Expert. You can always contact me at rgould@globalmentoring.com, and my telephone number directly is 905-286-3822. I just want to, in conclusion, say, when you bring on GMS as a help desk partner, we guarantee that you are going to be successful because our processes and procedures are so defined and so well managed that you can go to the marketplace, gain as much opportunities you can, and know that we'll support you on a 24/7 rotation. There is no limit to the opportunities that you can bring on when you bring on GMS Live Expert. So, in closing, I want to thank James so very much, and props to you for being able to see the value in our services, and together with Tigerpaw, we're very excited. So thank you very much, James, for allowing us to be part of your webinar, and just remind everybody we'd love to answer questions. So with that, James, I'll hand it back to you.
Great, Randy. Thank you. That was awesome. So we've got some time here at the end. I'm going to basically, any of you that have questions, we've already gotten several that have popped up on the question box, but to ask a question, we got so many people on the webinar, I'm not able to unmute you, but what I'd like you to do is actually type in your question into the question box in the GoToWebinar control panel, normally on the right-hand side of your screen. So go ahead and either the chat box or the message box, just type in your question. I'll go ahead and read them off, and then we're happy to help. And as we're waiting for a few more questions to come in, I just want to do actually some quick props for Randy and Dan and the GMS team. Just some background on me. I'm currently the acting VP of Sales here at Tigerpaw Software. I've been in the industry for about 25 years, and prior to this, I was known as the 36-month millionaire coach. So I was a VAR coach, worked with VARs and MSPs just like you for the previous 9 years before joining Tigerpaw. And everybody would say the same thing to me, and I'd work with people on creating a plan to grow sales and marketing in their business. They all wanted more revenue and they wanted to make more money. That's why you would hire a coach like me. And one of the secrets to what we would always do for our customers is we would explore with them and share the benefits of leveraging outsourced partnerships. And they have to be strategic outsourced partnerships. It can't be every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, because our industry has a lot of mistrust and some unethical folks. But GMS, I'm proud to say, was one of the very few strategic partners that I would refer people to outsource. And in sales, you got to get people to like you and trust you. And once you have that relationship, the bigger your portfolio of goods and services are, then you can say yes more often, which, you're selling outside the box. And again, GMS was a great partner. So I'm very excited about our integration and very excited to pull them deep into the ecosystem here at Tigerpaw. All right. So sorry about that soapbox there. I just wanted to share that with everybody. I think that was important. So, all right, so we got some questions coming in. The first one is, where is your North America call center located, Randy?
Well, James, that's a great question. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Our company is actually a virtual model. We don't have bricks and mortar. We actually did quite a while ago, and we found that it was better to virtualize because with our agents being, we're primarily Canadian, we have very diverse weather conditions from, let's say, November till March. And with our mentors working in their own home offices, they don't have to commute in bad weather, which is a huge benefit. And they put their head down, they do their job. But what's another big benefit for our partners is our availability and reliability statistics are incredible, because you might lose one mentor due to a bad rainstorm or wind or ice or something like that, but everybody else remains up. So you don't, weather or environmental factors don't affect our one central office. So we are a virtual company scattered in Canada with a few of our mentors in Buffalo, New York.
All right, excellent. Yeah, that's awesome. That's very impressive. Another question popped up. What's the price of Tigerpaw? So that's a deeper question than what I could really answer on the call here, because it's based on users and licensing and what model you go down. Again, remember, we give multiple ways to do business with Tigerpaw. So Richard, what I'd recommend you do is just email sales@tigerpaw.com, and we'll actually connect with you and set you up on a personal demo, and happy to share the full pricing. But what I will say is we typically have a lower total cost of ownership than our major competitors do, and certainly offer more bang for the buck. And then the same question, what was the price for GMS? So Randy, how do you price out your services?
Okay, we look at a per user price, so we don't tie a user to a device. So they can have a, it doesn't matter, a cell phone, workstation, it doesn't matter what they have. And we look at, on average, of about $20 per user, and we look at a 50 user minimum. That just gives us enough traction. So when we take tickets, in the industry, between 35 and 45% of named help desk users call for support on any given month. So we know that statistically, and so we associate a cost of about $20 per user. As well, we can also put knock in there as well. And with our knock service, which is, and that's a good, James, this is a really interesting point that, for our pricing model, we actually have 3 different levels of service in our knock, which is different than our competitors because we look at a per ticket model, and we could do an alert notification ticket where we just let you know where the issue is and you go fix it. We can then either fix the ticket, get it back to steady state. We have a specific price point for that. And we also can manage the end device and basically account for 98% of everything you would do on that device we'd actually take care of, and that would be basically, scripting, patching, updating, everything of that nature, and we'd report back to you. And the only time you have to get involved is if there is something physically down. So we can put all that together, and I think you make a good point. If I can absolutely, talk about pricing. If you want to send me an email, we can schedule some time to talk, and a one-on-one is still up on the screen at rgould@globalmentoring.com, and I'll run through our pricing structure and how that all works. But on average, you're looking at about $20 per user if it's help desk, and on average about $25 a ticket on knock, just as a ballpark.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Another question, what's the difference between Tigerpaw SaaS and Tigerpaw Cloud? So great question. So on purpose, for security reasons, Tigerpaw SaaS is designed to be an on-premise subscription. So it's a named user software subscription, client-server based, that basically is for named users. And it's designed, again, for security reasons to run on-premise under your roof, under your key, under your security controls, because of all the breaches that people have experienced in the marketplace today. So no internet latency and so forth. So that's the SaaS program. It's on-premise. And then there's the same program that's a named user, but it's fully hosted in the cloud. That's the Tigerpaw Cloud coming out the end of Q3. Okay. Next question. This is for Randy. Metrics. So this is a long question. I'll see if I can get through it. Metrics on ticket resolution are based on whoever is able to market resolved. Too many ticket systems have a tech be the person to call the ticket resolved without the client necessarily believing it. What does the process look like to close your tickets, and do your measures of resolution come from the client, not the tech?
That's a really good question. Very, very detailed. Okay, so when we do a ticket, and our mentor takes the ticket, the time of the ticket starts obviously when we take the call. The clock starts ticking. And we take that call to resolution, and we verify with the end user that everything is now working properly, that their ticket is resolved. Once we do that, then the ticket is closed. So we don't just think, okay, we must have fixed it. There is complete verification from the end user that the ticket has been fixed.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, and all the ticket notes are carried over, so you can see everything that our mentors have done. We actually get complimented all the time with the amount of detail that we put in those ticket notes. So if it is a level 3 issue, it has to go back. There's no ambiguity in what we did. Just as a side note.
And you guys can do customer satisfaction surveys randomly as well to make sure people are happy. You have the ability to use that feedback, correct?
Absolutely, that's correct.
Yeah. All right. Great. Yeah, that's always important. That's a great question. So thanks for that. And it looks like one final question. Do you have any customers in the Caribbean, and would you consider partnerships if needed? I'm not sure if that was geared at Tigerpaw or to GMS, but I think the answer for both of us would be yes, we do have clients in that area, and we're always looking for a partnership, certainly here at Tigerpaw. And if you want to talk to Randy or Dan about that, you can just email the gentleman there at Global Mentoring. I'm sure they're happy to speak with you about that too.
And James, I'll even put a caveat. If you want to fly me down to the Caribbean, I'm more than happy to come down and talk to you one-on-one.
Excellent. Hey, that was my answer.
So was it? Okay. Yeah, please fly me down. I'll
great.
be more than happy to be.
Exactly.
For sure.
Well, good stuff. Well, guys, great presentation. We're happy to have you part of the community here. Again, I think that's going to wrap up the questions that we have and the time we have for today. So with that, I'm going to say thank you and wish you well. If you need anything from us, feel free to reach out here to the Tigerpaw team. We're happy to talk with you, okay? You guys take care, everybody.